Hello, my name is Patricio Lopez, and I was born in El Paso, Texas, but I grew up all around the world. That includes Mexico City, Atlanta, Georgia, Jakarta, Indonesia, and most recently, Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm currently a sophomore at Graded, the American School of Sao Paulo, and I live with my parents, my younger brother, and my younger sister. Living across different countries really pushed me out of my comfort zone, but I'm really glad it did as it led me to adapt quickly to situations. No matter what country I moved to, soccer was always there for me. I've also been playing the violin for 5 years, and it's one of my favorite ways to wind down and relax. Also, you might always catch me with a book in my hand. I recently started participating in Model United Nations at a competitive level, and it strengthened my ability to research complex topics quickly and under pressure, collaborate with people who think differently from me, and communicate ideas clearly under pressure. These skills have pushed me to think more critically and work more effectively in team environments. My first experience with space was not recent. I remember back in the fourth grade, we went to a space camp in North Carolina. And there I truly fell in love with science. And I saw how it wasn't just an impossible, out of reach thing, but it was a thing where people were building, connecting, using systems to solve problems and how to approach them. And that was the first time that truly led me to fall in love with STEM. From that point on, I became way more engaged in robotics and science. I fell in love with these subjects. All throughout middle school, I was in robotics classes and clubs. I loved seeing how systems physically worked and to build things with your hands to reach a goal. And all of my science classes, I was deeply engaged in them. But the one area where I consistently was failing was in math. But by the start of eighth grade, something began to change. I started realizing I actually didn't dislike math. I just disliked the frustration of not understanding it. Whenever I would not understand something, I would shut out and tell myself I wasn't good at math and that I would never get it. But I started approaching it differently. I started asking more questions in class. I started actually reviewing concepts consistently, and I began seeing math as patterns, not just numbers. And slowly things started to click for me. As that happened, I was becoming more engaged. I challenged myself with harder problems. Over time, math became something that I avoided to something that I actually enjoyed and would do in my own time. That change in mindset led me to take on a major research project in the ninth grade. For math class, we were assigned to create the model for an NGO and justify its actions using real world data. What started off as a normal assignment turned into something much bigger for me. I analyzed how poverty rates, school dropout rates, and juvenile incarceration interact across 30 different countries. I used statistics tools like standard deviation, correlation, and regressions to look for patterns and relationships between variables. But what made the project meaningful wasn't just the calculations. It was the first time I began thinking in terms of systems. I started asking myself how changing one factor could influence an entire outcome, and how data could guide real decisions instead of just sitting in a textbook. That project completely changed how I view problem solving. It showed me that math and data aren't isolated concepts, they're tools for understanding and improving complex systems. After completing my research project, I wanted to take what I had learned and apply it beyond the classroom. And that's when my robotics teacher encouraged me to participate in a national STEM competition called TechFest. Now, for the most important question, why the SEAS internship? For me, SEAS feels like the environment that I've been slowly working toward without fully knowing it. I've challenged myself in the classroom, projects, and competitions that were either assigned to me or I gave to myself. But I've yet to step into a space where these expectations are higher, the problem is more complex, and the people around me just as driven as me. But that's what excites me about this program. It would push me beyond what I've already experienced. It would challenge the way I think, the way I collaborate, the way I approach difficult problems. I want to pursue engineering not because it sounds impressive, but because I genuinely enjoy figuring things out, especially when they don't make sense at first. And I believe that's a mindset that needs to be applied at Seas every single day. I know I still have a lot to learn, but that's why I want to be there. I want to be stretched, challenged, and grow in ways that I cannot pursue by myself. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I truly hope you consider my application for the NASA 2026 SEAS internship.